Hi, this is Mary Beth from stampinwithmb.com. I wonder how I got the MB. That is for Mary Beth. I'm so glad you joined me today. Hey, we are going to make a really cute, fun little card today. This is a very simple card, just using paper, stamps, and ink. And the set that we're going to use to create this card is the Broadway Birthday stamp set that's available in our annual catalog. So let's move on and show you how we're going to make this card. We're going to start with a piece of lemon lime twist that is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. We have a layering piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Very, very standard layering piece that we use often to frame our card. Make it a little bit like a frame picture, as if you were going to Michael's and getting a poster framed and you'd have different matting. This is actually what this is acting as. We're going to create some banners for our background, and we're going to use gingham gala in lemon lime twist, the big check and the small check, and a piece of melon mambo. The melon mambo is 5 inches by 1 1/4. And we are going to have the gingham gala. What are we going to have that at? We're going to have that at 4 3/4 by 1 inch. And we're going to use that with our triple banner punch. To create our greeting, we're going to have a layering piece of lemon lime twist. And that is cut at 3 by 1 3/4. And a piece of whisper white that is cut at 2 3/4 by 1 1/2. Once again, a little tip, if you're new to making cards, a very common border is 1/4 inch. So you go 1/4 inch down, 1/4 inch down, 1/4 inch down. We'll show you how that looks as we put it all together. So let's get started with our stamping. The first thing we're going to do is use our Melon Mambo ink. And we are going to stamp the hooray. Now, we're actually going to use a piece of fun foam as a cushion underneath our piece of whisper white. And the reason we're doing that is we're using photopolymer stamps, and they need a little bit of cushion to make a really good image. So we're just going to have our little piece of whisper white. We're going to tap, tap, tap on our melon mambo, and we are going to stamp this hooray image. We're going to let it sit there on the paper for a minute and make sure that we get a really good impression. Oh, that doesn't look too bad. I'm not too worried about there being a little bit of ink that is not apparent there, because we're going to be covering that up with another stamp that is the hooray in our little dots, and I have just mounted that on my block. So I'm going to take black Memento ink, and I am once again going to tap, tap, tap on my ink pad. Make sure that I've got nice coverage. How about if we stay? And we're going to line this up, and this is the beauty of photopolymer stamps, is that we can see where our little dots are going to go and make sure that they're layered over our melon mambo. Well, hooray, we have a pretty good hooray to be able to put on our card. So that is all we're going to do for stamping today. So let's start with our layering piece, our whisper white layering piece, and we are going to create our banners to be able to lay on our whisper white. And the way that we're going to create the banners is use our triple banner punch. So here we're going to come in with our melon mambo piece that we've just cut, and we are going to adhere these to our whisper white mat. So the way we're going to do that is I am going to use a little bit of fast fuse, get a nice little strip down there. I'm going to do that to my melon mambo, and I want to kind of get this ready so that when I go to adhere these onto my card, I have a good opportunity to, and let's make sure that we're putting, be careful here, that you want to make sure you're putting your fast fuse on the correct side, because you want to have the big check and the little check. So we're going to put a piece there. So we're going to start with our melon mambo, and we're going to lay that, kind of eyeball that, and lay it right in the middle of our layering piece. We're going to just gently lay that down. Looks pretty straight to me. We're going to take, and we're not pressing that all the way, but because we may need to jiggle them and move them around a little bit. As a matter of fact, I can see that that's not quite straight. I'm going to carefully lay another piece of my gingham, the first piece of gingham gala, put that down on my mat. And now I'm going to come around with my other piece, line that up flush against the top of my mat, and take a look. Well, I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to just use our finger and press that down to make sure that we've got a nicely adhered banners. We're going to move that aside for just 1 second. We're now going to take our hooray and adhere that to our piece of lemon lime twist. Once again, I'm going to come in with my adhesive. Now, my adhesive of choice is Fast Fuse, and I have to tell you, it's retired, and when it went on sale and they announced they were retiring it, I think I bought the store out. So I'll be using Fast Fuse for the next 200 years. Eat your heart out. Now I have Fast Fuse on the back of my mat, as I'm calling it, and I'm going to bring in my lemon lime twist base, and I'm going to adhere the last layer of my card. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to first line up the bottom of my card once it lets go of my little finger there, and I'm going to make sure I'm straight on the bottom, and I'm going to line it up along one of the sides, and that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to adhere it. So one of the things as you start to make cards, the mistake that I made for a long time until I learned this at our last convention, is that you're going to start to put your matting layer down, and you're going to realize you have too much green on this side and not enough on that side, or it's going to be a little crooked. So remember, when you're putting this down, start at the bottom, line it up, then take one edge only, line it up along one of the axes, and then make sure that that's the way, it's nice and even the way you like it. Then you can secure the rest of your card. Well, there you go. You have a nice hooray card, a nice springy card. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Once again, this is Mary Beth with Stampin' with MB. You have a great one, and we'll see you the next time.